What's going on? Welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to be working on the Stratos. This is going to be the last time you see this thing until it gets wrapped. This is part 11 of the Stratos build. My wife loves the boat, my kids love it, I love it, I think it's going to be sick. I've been catching a lot of heat from guys that are saying, hey, this is a fiberglass boat. Why are you doing this? I thought this was Trick 10's YouTube channel. Obviously it is. This is my personal boat. I'm going to build whatever boat I want. I'm sorry. You know what? You guys don't have to wait long. It's only going to be a couple of days until I drop a video of another John boat build. I'm starting a new build, complete build, start to finish. It's going to be sick. The colorway, everything's already picked. I got all the electronics. Everything's brand spanking new that's going in this boat. Anyways, let's get back to this one. This video is not going to be as long as a lot of the other videos that were in this build series. I just wanted to wrap this thing up and kind of bring it all together and give you all some type of closure until you see it with the wrap on it. Now, as you can see, I did install my custom dual graph bridge here. This thing is sick. I put a lot of time and effort into designing this and figuring it out. It has a universal hole pattern, both top and bottom, that will fit any fish finder you want to put on it. This is a 106 and a 93 SV on here right now. It's the same setup I run in my tracker. This thing can hold two 12-inch graphs, maybe even 15-inch graphs. I don't really know. I don't have a 15-inch graph type of money. All right, so what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to be installing a custom recessed foot pedal tray. I have it right here. I built this. This is very similar to the recessed foot pedal trays that I build. The only difference is I cut this lip down to a 1/2 inch because it needs to fit up tight in this front right here because I don't have a lot of space. There's a cross member right here, or some type of composite board running, and I could not put a standard foot pedal tray in here. Now this one does not slope forward, and I actually put this foot pedal in here and it fits. It does pull this wire up kind of tight, but I don't think it's going to be an issue because I put it in there and tried it and it still worked fine. So I'm going to get this installed, and then I'm going to be installing these new handles. Now these handles, they had the same exact ones already in here. These are like kayak handles or something. I think they were like 10 bucks for 4 of them. He had 2 in the back and 1 on the passenger side. These are basically oh shit handles. So if I know we're about to hit some stuff, we're hitting some big waves coming up or something, I'm gonna tell everybody in the boat to hold on, and they're gonna have one of these sitting right next to them so they can hold on, because there's really nothing to hold on to in the boat besides the seats or the gunnels. So I'm going to put these in there. The holes are already there, and I figured I might as well throw them in. The old ones that were in here were dry rotted, so I did go ahead and get some new ones. Then I'm going to be covering the thing. I got a cover here. I mentioned this earlier in the build series, but this came from Sealskin Covers. It's like a gray cover. I haven't even opened it yet, so I'm getting ready to open that up when I get finished with all this stuff up here, and I'm going to cover this whole boat. I'm going to put it outside. I'm going to bring this new well build in here. I'm going to start working on it. I am going to get this graph bridge and this foot pedal tray powder coated. It's going to be some type of a sparkly blue color or something that matches the turf, but I got to dry fit all this stuff. I got to make sure it's going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this whole graph bridge, and I'm going to lay out this foot pedal. I'm going to cut this hole out, my jigsaw, sink it in there, and then put this all back in the boat and make sure it fits and it's exactly what I want. Because once it's powder coated, there's no altering the thing and coming back and doing it all over again without getting it powder coated again. So I'm going to get that done and get all this stuff in the boat. We'll get it covered up. Let's get back to work. All right, so as you can see, I cut the hole. It's a pain in the ass. I actually ended up cutting into this cross member a little bit. I cut about 1/8 or maybe 1/4 less into that cross member. I didn't want to, but unfortunately it's just too tight. There's not enough room, but it worked out perfectly. It wasn't a big deal. This deck is still super strong. I was just standing on it and walking around. It doesn't flex at all whatsoever. This fiberglass is pretty thick. There's like 4 layers to it. It's like the fiberglass, it's got some foam, looks like it has some different denser foam, and then it has a cover of fiberglass on the bottom too. So surprisingly, this deck is about 3/4 of an inch thick up here, and where this composite board was, it's stuck down almost 2 inches. I had some trouble cutting it with my jigsaw because my blade wasn't long enough, but I broke it off, and I had to hammer this thing down in here, but it fits. It's tight, but it looks killer. I mean, it looks sick. This thing's gonna be perfect. Now the whole front deck's gonna be streamlined. I don't have to worry about this big foot pedal sitting up here. And once it's deployed, I can set it to where this will set flush and turn all the way down, and it won't even be sticking up at all. It's not bolted down right now, so it needs to drop down another, like 3/4 of an inch in the front, but this is gonna be exactly what I need. So now that that's all staged and I know it's gonna work, I'm gonna go ahead and take it out. I'm gonna take these graph mounts off of this graph bridge. I'm gonna take both these parts to the shop, and I'm gonna drop them off at the powder coaters this week. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get these handles installed in here, and we'll work on this cover. Let's get back to work. Alright, so I got the entire boat finished up, got the handles installed, I got the hole cut for the recessed foot pedal tray, everything mocked up perfectly, dry fit, looks good. Now I'm going to take these two pieces, the graph bridge and the recessed foot pedal tray, I'm going to take them to work me tomorrow. I'm going to drill some holes in here and countersink them before I take it to the powder coaters. I'm also going to drill a hole up in the face right here for the power cable coming out for the foot pedal. And I'm gonna take this thing, I'm gonna weld some on the inside of this lip right here, clean it up real good. I'm gonna take both these to the powder coaters. I should have these back by the end of the week. So now I'm gonna open up this cover. Let's see what this thing looks like. Never used this cover before. It's a sealskin cover. It had really good reviews, so I hope it's gonna be a good cover. If not, we'll find out very shortly. Looks like it's in a nice bag. Definitely a pretty quality nylon bag. Yeah, it's pretty thick. This cover is probably, as long as it fits, it's going to be legit. I mean, it's not no cheap Walmart cover. It feels very similar to the tracker cover that I have. It came in my PT190, the stock cover. So it's a good thick quality. I'm going to try to lay this thing out and put it over the boat. It's probably going to take me a minute. I'm going to put you guys back on the time lapse. Let's get this thing covered up and pull it out of here. Let's get back to work. Alright, so the cover fits pretty good. One thing I noticed though immediately, up in this front section right here, same issue I had in my last boat. It just dips down. And even once I tighten up the straps on it, I think it's still going to be too low. It's going to create an area where water's going to build up if it rains. So this is my simple solution to that. And this is very simple. This is a piece of 1/2 inch PVC pipe. And I have a T right here. I cut some little 6-inch pieces. Basically, I'm going to take these, I'm going to turn it like this. I'm going to shove this up into the front deck on either side. You see how it's already U-shaped? This was a straight piece. This is actually leftover. I took this off my old boat. I use these on a lot of my boats when I need them. It's basically very simple. I'm going to take these and wedge them into either side, and it's going to create like a little overhang, like a bridge basically. It's a bridge that's going to hold that tarp up in the front. That way when the water hits it, it will run off. If I have to put one in the back, I will. There's also some more stuff you can do like this. I'm sure there's tons of YouTube videos on it, but I've seen guys put these in their boats, and I've seen them hook up more T-joints in the center and have them run all the way horizontally down the whole boat. Basically make like a spine that sits over the top of the boat, and then they put the covers over top of that. But you can also just use a ratchet strap. If you can run a ratchet strap from the bow all the way to the stern, and it basically just makes a center point where all of the water will run left and right off the port and starboard side. There's a bunch of different things you can do. I'm just gonna put this one in the front and hopefully it's gonna be enough. Let's get this thing in here. Let's get back to work. Alright guys, so the cover was a pain in the butt to put on here. I'm not going to lie to you. That last time lapse you just watched was actually 42 minutes. It took me a while. I mean, this thing is pretty good. The thickness of it and everything, it's quality stuff. But as you can see here, it's got a buckle on the top and a buckle on the bottom. The bottom one goes under the boat. The top one goes over the boat. Now, I first put that PVC piece up in the front, and I realized very quickly that that wasn't going to work because this already has enough of a slope from the window down. So I took that same piece and I put it up here right over the back deck. And that's exactly what I needed. I mean, the way it's set up now, there's no low spots. All the water will drain off of it. But I don't have 40 minutes to cover this thing every time I get home. It's really a pain in the ass. I mean, I would have to give the thing like probably 7.5 stars. Somewhere in that area. I mean, I'll see how it holds up, but it seems like it'll hold up pretty good. It's just a pain in the ass to install. Now, like the cover for most bass boats, like my Tracker and 190 I have, it literally only has 4 straps to go around the trailer, 2 in the front and 2 on the transom. And then it has a strap that goes all the way around the sides, and it connects in the back and has a ratchet strap built into it on the side where you ratchet strap it down tight and it sucks the whole thing down around the boat. This one's not like that, but this one was only 200 bucks. Those stock Tracker covers, I think they're like 750, 800 bucks. It might even be more than that right now. But the bottom line is, this thing's covered up. I'm sure I'm gonna figure out how to use this thing faster and get it installed faster, but we'll see. Now I gotta come back, I'm gonna cut these off where I need them to be and then just burn the tips of them. I'll leave like 2 or 3 inches hanging out, but on the other side, there's about 2 feet hanging out. Obviously, I don't need that much extra slack in it, and I don't want to have that dragging the ground or getting caught up in my tires when I'm driving this thing with the cover on it. So this build is sick. The whole thing is just amazing. I mean, I love the whole boat, but I got to get on to something else now. I'm going to come back to this as soon as I get it wrapped and get these pieces powder coated and everything put into it, but it's going to probably be 3 or 4 weeks before that happens. So now I'm going to get started on this next John Boat build series. This thing is going to be dope. I'm going to pull this out of the garage, back this one in, I'm going to start working on it. I appreciate you guys watching. Hit that like, subscribe button. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm really trying to hit 10,000 followers by the end of the year. It's probably not going to happen, but you never know. If you guys actually help me out, we might get there. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time. I got to get back to work.